we got the...
Yeah, it's got record.
Okay, here we are. It's Saturday the 17th of January 2009 outside Parliament. Just put together a few thoughts. I'm not anyone special, but the one thing I can do is come here and say what I believe in.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking here today not because I'm anyone special, nor because I hold facts which I do not believe you hold yourselves. I am speaking here today because there comes a time when an individual man cannot choose to stay silent any longer when he sees injustice in the world around him. Something is very wrong and has been for a very long time. Something is very wrong with the state of the world we live in. As I stand here today, as we stand here today, over 1,200 people have been massacred in the Gaza Strip, 90% of them innocent civilians. They've been butchered in the Gaza Strip using British and American machinery in the hands of Israeli soldiers with the full backing of the British and American government, even though they spout and parrot the occasional anti-war thing to placate you, the public. We stand here today with Iraq in ruins and hundreds of thousands of civilians dead because of our war of occupation. We stand here today as the British government follows America blindly in the English-speaking man's imperialism around the world. Sometimes a person cannot stay silent. Sometimes a person cannot go along without feeling very ashamed, and I feel terribly ashamed that the luxuries I enjoy are bought at the expense of other people who suffer beneath the heavy boot of colonialism and economic imperialism. We have to ask, one has to ask, we all must ask as individuals, who stands for peace in this world? Is it the British government? Who works for peace when our leaders are busy selling weapons and stockpiling wars of aggression around the world? Down in Trafalgar Square, thousands of ordinary people are protesting against the Israeli attack on the Gaza Strip. And I am so thankful as an individual, as one solitary man, no one special. I am so thankful that people will take their time to come out here and stand up for what they not only believe is right, but for what they know is right. But there is a greater malaise, people, one that has existed before our lifetimes. And unless we use the incredible power of the share of communication, the internet, citizen journalism, this disease will carry on forever. The malaise is the quest for glory that our leaders have. They desire glory and power. The age-old quest for power and control and money that poisons and controls every man that comes into contact with it. They lower themselves and bend over the mantle of imperialism, thinking that they are glorifying themselves, when in fact they are guzzling down the poison of inhumanity and hurting not themselves alone, but us as well. As I say, I alone am not anyone special. I belong to mankind. We're on this planet together. We're in this for the long run. He who kills his fellow man kills a bit in all of us. We cannot move forward until we really try everything we can in about money and power and control. Oh God, how they've lied to me. How they've lied whilst I grew up and told me that I was in great danger from the bogeyman. First, they told me it was the communists, and now they tell me it's the terrorists. They fed me lies through my TV and the newspapers that my father brought into the house. They fed me lies at school and tried to get me to join the military. They dressed boys in the killing suits of men. They taught us to yield to the scythe of death, the assault rifle. I can never forgive them for that. Each year, thousands of poor American boys and British boys are fed imperialist propaganda and sent obediently towards their deaths, marching uniformly in long rows into the desert to kill the brown man who poses no threat to the West. Each time these young boys die, the media claims in the right-wing press these are heroes and that they died for freedom. Why don't we take a look at the freedom that they send our young boys to die for? Great Britain and the United States of America supported Saddam Hussein against the Iranians. They gave him money and weaponry, which helped butcher and kill 1 million young men in the 1980s, fully sanctioned by the White House, by Whitehall, and by Parliament. You want to find the weapons of mass destruction, just look at the receipt, because we sold it to them. At the same time, we, the West, supported the fathers of the Taliban, the Mujahideen, with money, weapons, technology for their fight against the Soviets. The Soviets then pulled out, leaving a decimated Afghanistan, a decimated country. Did the West stay to help? Of course not. The West did not care for the lives of millions of homeless refugees. We left them to rot with the expensive guns that we gave them. Dear God, let us look at the freedom that our leaders offer us. Under the fascist banner of protecting us against terror, they give us cages to lock ourselves in. We are barcoded, DNA sampled, filmed by CCTV on every street corner. The British government grants the police extraordinary powers to quell dissent and free speech under the totalitarian anti-terror laws. They didn't do this when the IRA were bombing London. This is a new project. You're the enemy. The people are the enemy. That's why you need to be controlled. These laws are totalitarian because they can be used to arrest you for anything that is considered antisocial. They passed the law because it's Brian Hall here. They passed the law banning protest within 1 mile of that building. The use of megaphones is banned within 1 mile of that building to quell your dissent, to quell your free speech. These laws are used widely against you, the people, whilst you go about your day scared and terrified from the lies you read in the media. You're kept terrified and scared, and you're watched like criminals from the vulturous cameras that hang above our heads. A constant reminder that we are all suspects in Her Majesty's open prison, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom of control and conformity. This has all happened in my lifetime, and I am by no means wise or aged or old, but all in my lifetime. So let me say, from the studies I have done, from the reading, the country, this once bastion for enlightenment and freedom in the world. Something is very wrong with the state of affairs in the United Kingdom. We, the people, you and I, we are constantly asked to exchange our freedom in return for security, unaware that the danger is precisely from those budding fascists who demand we exchange and give something which is our God-given right as children of the earth. He who gives up freedom in exchange for security from them deserves neither. I do not want my children to grow up in a country where they are barcoded, filmed, sampled, herded, studied, and lied to on a daily basis about the enemy. When it's clear that the enemy of the state and the enemy of any state is the people, that's why they don't tell you the truth. That's why everything is top secret. That's why they meet in secret. Good deeds are done in the sunshine and evil deeds are done in secrecy and darkness. But we are starting to disobey in greater numbers. We are getting our information from sources other than the corporate media, the mainstream news channels. The question is not, how can I do something to stop the spread of this totalitarian malaise and the destruction of libertarian British values, but how can I not do something to stop this spread? How can I, as an individual, sit at home watching advertising on TV and go shopping when my fellow man, woman, and child in countries all around the world are victims of British, American, and Israeli bombs? I can't do that. Palestine, Vietnam, Hiroshima, Dresden, Cambodia, colonial India, Iraq, Afghanistan, Chile, Guatemala, Cuba, El Salvador, Laos, Lebanon, all bombed by the British and Americans, and Israel, all client states of the economic imperialism of the West. Dear God, we really must ask for forgiveness for the people who have disconnected their souls from their brains and see nothing wrong with the mass murder of millions of innocent people around the world. We must ask forgiveness on their behalf for their wanton genocidal acts, the genocidal acts of our leaders, Gordon Brown, George Bush, the Israeli cabinet, the new imperialist system of the West. The mantle has changed in the Englishman's world, the English-speaking world, from British imperialism. The flag has been passed over to the American